Hello, RCP family. I hope everybody is doing good. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you've enjoyed your week and you're looking forward to what God is going to do on Sunday when we all have the opportunity to come together. But this morning, I'm going to be talking about trophies of our devotion. And I'm going to be reading Colossians chapter 1, verses 19 through 23, and then Philippians chapter 3, verse 13. So let's jump right into it. In Colossians chapter 1, verse 19, it says, "For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell, and having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself. By him, I say, whether there be things in earth or things in heaven. And you that were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled in the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. If ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister." And then Philippians chapter 3, verse 13 says, "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before." So RCP, I have a question for you this morning. What is your testimony? What is the thing that God has done for you? Is it what you have done and then God saved you from it? And because for many people, that's how we see our testimony. That is how they see testimonies in general. I did everything imaginable and God saved me. The end. I was addicted to alcohol and God saved me. I was in the world living a life that was unpleasing to God and God saved me. And that's it. That's where we stop. It's awesome that God saved us. And it's awesome that He pulled us from the gutters of this world. That He renewed our minds and that He picked us up out of miry clay and set our feet on a rock to stay. But does it have to end right there? I don't think so. For many of us, this is what we think our testimony is. We think that what we were doing wrong, God saved us, and we're done. What we need to get in our heads is that our testimony is not what we did, but how we made it through and are keeping our feet straight. We're continuing to go in Christ and continuing to strengthen through Christ. You know, I've heard a lot of testimonies throughout this year and throughout my life, and they're great testimonies, how God did some miraculous things, how God, not just saved people from the worst parts of this world, but how God kept people, and they never wavered and never left church, and that's a strong testimony in itself. But there's no offense to anyone, but I'm tired of hearing about what God did. I want to know what God's doing. We hear people talk about, God saved me from killing myself. And that's a powerful thing when God does that. No offense to anyone. I mean, no offense at all. But in the human services, the rule is not to make a memorial for suicide. This means that we mention it, but not make it your primary story. God saved you, then what? See, our testimony always ends with Christ, but it really needs to start with Christ. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says that we are a new creation and that old things have passed away. This means that you leave your old life back there and, like Paul, press on to what God has for you. This is your testimony, how you made it through. God saved me from this back here, but God put me here and God is pulling me through. God is helping me. This is your testimony. God never let me waver back. God has only put things ahead of me. This is what we should be telling people. This is where the focus of our story is. Try not to dwell on what you have done, but go in and through your life as a conqueror and a child of the Most High King. Yes, it's a powerful thing for you to use your past and show what God has done for you. You know, I tell people about my past all the time. And if I'm not careful, that's what I focus on. God saved me from all these things that I've done. And I'm here. And that's where we stop. But see, we have to push forward. Yes, God saved me from a world of all kinds of things that I couldn't handle. And that was going to lead me down a path that was going to kill me. But yet, God saved me. And now, God is using me to help others. God is strengthening me and putting me in a place to be a witness for Him, to be a mouthpiece for Him. So I ask you today, what is your testimony? Yes, God brought you from somewhere. Yes, God did something great. But what is God doing for you now? What are we telling people? Are we just stopping right there? God saved me and that's it? Or are we saying, God saved me and now I'm doing this? God saved me and now He's using me. And God can use everyone. All things have passed away, and behold, all things become new. Old things have passed away, and behold, all things become new. God washed away all the sins and all the ugly things of our lives, and now God has made us white as snow, and God has made us worthy to be used by Him. God has saw something in us. Even through our dirtiness, even through our ugliness, He sees us. And He loves us, and that's the testimony right there. God didn't just love me back then. God continues to love me now. God didn't help me back then. He continues to help me now. And that's what we have to focus on. That's what we have to make the point of our story. Yes, God did something great in the past, but God is continuing to do something great in my life in the present. RCP, God is doing something great right here in this church right now. People are being baptized. Guests are coming. God is opening the doors for us. And that's our focal point. Yes, we were a small and growing church. But now I feel that we are an established and growing church. God is doing great things. And we need to tell people about what God is continuing to do. RCP, I love you guys. And I will see you Sunday. You guys have a wonderful day.